Mic check, 1, 1, 2. Can you all hear me all the way in the back there? Woo, yeah. Yeah, we love the back, right? Because, you know, the back is the best part where you can play Candy Crush and not be seen, you know, get on Twitter, get on Snap, get on Facebook, holler at your friends, and then look up every now and then and smile. Like, yeah, I'm paying attention, yeah, okay. We see you back there. Hi, my name is Andre Daughty. I am from Oklahoma. I say let's get started, shall we? Woo! Woo! Yeah, okay. So this keynote is about from preschool to prison. And we're going to dig deep. It's going to get a little heavy. It's okay. But the best part about this is we're family. That's the cool thing, because when you're talking to unicorns and when you're talking to outliers, you already know this, so it makes me feel like I'm speaking to the choir. So if I hear an amen from you, I'm cool with that, all right? So here's the cool thing about speaking to family. You got to try your best to keep their attention. And so one of the things that I've done to try to keep your attention, if you would, can we flip over here? I am from Oklahoma, so there's one thing Oklahoma has, and we have amazing, well, actually 3 things. But one thing is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Woo! So for those of us who are, yeah, you're supposed to like clap louder than that, but that's okay, it's cool. All right. Do we have the switcher? Can we have a switcher switch to the PowerPoint for give everybody that opportunity? Oh, here you go. Okay, great. So here's one thing about our Thunder. In Oklahoma City, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we had this cat named Kevin Durant, right? And Kevin Durant and we played against the Golden State Warriors, and we almost won. And that entire summer, we were excited. And then Kevin Durant left us on July 3rd at 11:59 p.m. We got it on our Twitter feed. He is going to Golden State. We all cried. We all got upset. You know, the Twitter bashing and whatnot. Just as of last week, 12 days ago, we ended up getting another superstar. So now everybody's all happy in Thunderland all over again. So here's the way I try to keep students' attention. Here's the way I try to keep adults' attention. Because I know that you can very easily go to your Snap, to your Twitter, and kind of tune out at times. So here's my deal. Throughout this entire thing, I want you to count how many times we see an Oklahoma City Thunder logo. Everybody with me? Throughout this entire presentation, I need you to check to see how many times. Let me give you an example. If you've already counted 4, you're already there with me. If you did not count 4 with me, you got to use your eyes like a scientist. You got to launch and look deeper than before. Andre, where's the 4? There's 3 on this page. Do you see them? 1. 2, 3. Oh, I got your attention now. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this thing from preschool to prison. How do we change our thinking and to continue to develop, to change our thinking, to engage today's students? Before we do this, we first have to start off from the beginning. If there are any people from the greatest generation, could you please stand, because I would like to honor you. Around. 1. Please, let's give it up for our greatest generation. Because while we're going, we got to first recognize and acknowledge who are the people before us. How about our baby boomers and our Generation Joneses? If you are in this building, please stand up. We want to honor you. Thank you. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Yes. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Here's what I like about our Generation Jones and our baby boomers. They remember when. So shout out to all the people who remember Howdy Doody. Shout out all the people who had the candy cigarettes and you put it on the side right there and then you would talk with it and then that cigarette would move the entire time and you thought you were big time. And then you would eat it. You remember that, right? We remember those days. Yes, yes, Shout out to all the people who play with the original Tinker toys. Yeah. Okay, so now here's some things the baby boomers wish could still happen. I'm sure you wish that your childhood toys were not in a museum. And you're like, what? Like the Barbies right now. You remember the Barbies you used to play with? And now they are being auctioned off for millions of dollars. Or those baseball cards that you had, and you put them on the spokes of your tires, of your bicycle, and now you found out that that Babe Ruth that you had or that Willie Mays that you had is worth a whole lot of money. Okay, so let's talk about Generation X. Generation X, if you are in here, please stand up. We want to honor you. Let's go ahead and give it up for them, please. I see you. A lot of you over here, a lot of you back there. Thank you all, Generation X. Inside of Generation X, here's some things we remember. Saturday morning cartoons. Anybody remember waking up at the crack of dawn, not messing with your parents, and you just sat in front of the TV and you watched like 9 straight hours of commercials and about 10 minutes worth of a cartoon? But you was in that thing though, right? You was all, yeah, we were all there. Or how about the very first time you watch You Can't Do That on television on Nickelodeon? Throwbacks, right? I got you thinking throwbacks now. Here's some things Generation X wishes now. Because I'm sure you played that Monopoly game and you wished that that $500 of gold money could be real. And if you had students like that, they would come to school and be like, hey, Mr. Doughty, I got some money. I'm like, show me. And then they pull out a Monopoly dollar. Here it is, I got some money. Oh, baby, you so wrong. How about Generation Y? Generation Y, if you're in the house, please stand up. We want to honor you. Yes, I see you. We see you back there. Thank you for standing. Thank you, Generation Y. I see you over here. Thank you, Generation Y. Here's some things Generation Y remembers. Everybody remember when Tom from MySpace was the dude? Remember when everybody texted and talked like they text? Do you remember when Facebook was called the Facebook? No, if you don't, okay, it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you don't. And now here are some things you wish that you had. Because I'm telling you right now, that bottom one, I sure wish that I would have come up with YouTube or Angry Birds, Words with Friends, or any of those other things back in the day. Okay, let's talk about our millennials. Do we have any millennials in the house? If you're in here, what's up? What's up, yo? Hey. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Thank you. We honor you, millennials. We do. Don't care what anyone else says. We do. Because you're the ones still teaching. We appreciate you in our classrooms because we get tired and we need the energy. And who do we have to do it? The millennials. We appreciate you. Or how about our Generation Zs? Are there any Generation Zers in the house? Just want to make sure. We have 1 or 2. Yeah, let's give it up for Generation Z in the house. 2 of them. Yeah, stand up. Be proud. Stand up. Yes. Woo. Thank you very much. So here's the thing about millennials and Generation Zs. Do you remember the first time you didn't have your phone on you, but you felt the buzz from your phone? And you was like, woo, woo, woo. Or remember the time that you've walked down the hall and your whole life was ruined in that instant because you couldn't find your phone? And you stopped everything in the world to find your phone. So us old school folks, we used to do that with the remote control. Instead of getting up and just turning the dial to get to the, we will tear up a house just for that remote control. Here's some things millennials wish now. They wish things didn't break so easily. Because the TV that we used to have would last for about 40 years, And then afterwards, what you would do, you would buy another TV and just sit it on top of that first one. Anybody remember? Okay, I'm just checking. We're way in the room. But nowadays, you blink, TVs break. These are the things. Here's the things that I would like for you to present today. Today we are dealing with Generation Alpha. And we're also dealing with the last of Generation Zs. And so we're going to talk and discuss about Generation Alpha. Because our Generation Alpha is just like this cartoon. Our Generation Alpha came into this place knowing all of the technology. They didn't have to have a telephone cord like us old school folk, and it was one line in the entire house, and the cord was like 200 feet long. So if you wanted some privacy, you had to wrap that thing up and walk all the way over here to this corner, and then your brothers and sisters would trip over it. No, today's generation came up with, what did you all do without cell phones? Because everybody has one. Everybody has a device. We had one line. Generation Z, they have 4 and 5 lines. Today's Alpha, you have even more lines because you can use Google or Umo or some of these other ones. So repeat after me. Expectations are everything.
Expectations are everything.
Say it with more power. Expectations are everything.
Expectations are everything.
Here's a little bit about me. My name is Andre Daughty. I am from Oklahoma. That young lady that you see on the second row, that lady is the sugar to my grits. She is the hot sauce on my chicken, y'all. Y'all don't even know. That young lady is a person who inspired me to the greatness. She saw something in me when we were in college, and she was like, you can do great things. And so she would come to my classroom. She would read to my students. She would see how expectations were everything. She would see how I would customize classrooms and students and fit their needs and build their strengths. And now she's got the teaching bug. She's been a teacher for 4 years in second grade now because she saw it and she said to herself, expectations are everything. At the very bottom, I was that kid in class. What kind of kid in class? That kid in class. The troublemaker who was sneaky. I was so smooth with it, I could whistle without moving my mouth. Who did it? Andre, prove it. Prove that it was me. Yeah, you probably connected your guy with, I'm that kid. But expectations are everything. I was that kid always making beats in the classroom. Drumming on any and everything, grabbing pencils. I was that kid. I was that kid constantly in trouble from tapping with the pen. I'm that kid right now who loves fidget spinners. And I will spin more than my daughter. I was that kid until one day a teacher, a unicorn, an outlier, said, you know what, Andre, I see you always in trouble. Have you ever considered tapping on your pants leg instead of on the desk? Won't be as loud, but you still get your song out. I hadn't. He said, you know what, Andre, anytime you have a song in your head, come to me at lunch, sing it to me. Whistle it to me, play it however you want. Because you love music. But my teacher didn't. My teacher loved silence. So you can see the struggle every day. So that's who I am. So let's talk about Andre in Oklahoma. Here's some things when I say expectations are everything. Here are some things Oklahoma's really good in now. We were ranked first in pre-K. Throughout the entire state of Oklahoma, pre-K program. Now we're ranked 6th, which is still great. Our babies get the opportunity to come to school, to learn, to love, to play, to grow, to develop. We're ranked 11th, which is good. Ranked 8th, great. There are some things we're not so great in as well. And since we're family, I'll share it with you. We're ranked 2nd in incarceration. Little Oklahoma, 2nd. Over Chicago, over New York, over LA, Jersey, DC, Miami. Ranked 5th. And the #1 place of incarcerated women. Not DC, not Chicago, Oklahoma. So then we have to ask ourselves, why? What's going on with this thing here? Why is this happening? 68% of them who are in those jails. Is that me? It's me. Sorry about that. 68% of us, they do not have high school diplomas. The link between the academic fits with the link with the prison. Just in little Oklahoma. So the students that I serve, the students that I have served, 68% as math people. Out of 10 people, almost 7 will be in jail at some point in their time. So what can we do as teachers to get them to that next level? What can we do as teachers to engage our students and keep them out from preschool to prison? Here's some more stats. And here's the part that's heavy. I love to put this up here because I want you to read it. I want you to visualize it. I want you to feel what I feel daily. Because we know it is linked. When students drop out, where are they going? What happens when they drop out? They don't get the 6-figure salary. They don't get that opportunity job that we think they get. What happens when they drop out? How about this? Inside of today's schools, this is in Oklahoma and regionally, our teachers, our educators, we're helping our law enforcement to arrest students in school for things they should not be arrested in. These are examples. Real life examples. Can you imagine a kindergartner getting handcuffed and walked out of an elementary school in handcuffs over a fit? Can you imagine a kid singing the Fresh Prince song, getting handcuffed, not detention, not go to timeout, not go to the hall, handcuffed? This is the part that's heavy. We're going somewhere, trust me. Here's some reasons why today's students are being suspended. I want you to chew on this. It's a tough piece of gristle meat right here. Can you imagine that student who gets free lunch, Title I school, going to get a milk, and then the teacher, the person on duty, saying, "You stole that milk"? And the student's like, "But you stole that milk," and then going to the office, "He stole that milk." And then the resource officer comes, and they're saying, "You stole that milk." That's 3-day suspension. This is happening in our schools. This correlates all the way back to that 68%. Because the more students are out of school, the less they learn. Can you imagine a student having dreadlocks, having braids, being told to cut it off or be suspended? Can you imagine a principal asking you to cut off your hair, for those of us who are still rocking the full set of hair? But can you imagine that? If you don't, you will be suspended. Can you imagine that? Here's the thing. Over 3 million students are annually kicked out of school or suspended nationwide. And I would love to say of those 3 million, it is over the tough stuff, the rough stuff, the fights, the jumping, the beating up, the stealing. I could go with that. The stuff that's safety issues, I'm cool with that. But some of this stuff shouldn't be suspensions. A lot of the stuff should be suspensions. One student in Oklahoma was popping bubble gum and had 5-day suspension. So we're talking about the preschool to prison pipeline. Now imagine that student who was popping gum and now is suspended for something as small as popping gum. That student is now a target. Once that student becomes a target, now every time they see that student's the troublemaker. And then it continues. We've all been there before. We've all heard it before. Oh, you've got James? Ooh, good luck. Real talk, we probably even said it ourselves. Ooh, that one. Ooh, you got a tough class. It's the same way students get labeled. And once when they get labeled, it is very difficult for those students to earn their way off of those labels. That's a part of the pipeline. Remember, 1 out of school suspension by the 9th grade doubles their chances. So we got to shift our thinking. 68% of them, we got to shift our thinking. So here are some books. I like to share books. I love to give ideas to help all of us through this. Here are some books that can help us shift our thinking. If you have a QR code reader, you can go ahead and go that route as well. I'll slide over out the way so you can. First one, Just Mercy. Talks about Brian. Brian has his story. Brian in detail tells his story of how the system was suspending him. Now, he shouldn't have made it, but he did. Thanks to unicorns. Thanks to outliers. The other one, the new Jim Crow. Why is it that there are so many students going to prison at an early age? Why is it that so many students are now being charged as adults? Incarceration Nation. And this isn't just in Oklahoma. This isn't just nationwide. This is global. So how can we, as amazing unicorn educators, help to shift the thinking? Because I'm talking to the choir here. This is stuff we already know. But what about our colleagues? What about our friends? What about the people on the Twitter when we have our Twitter chats? How can we help them discover and shift their thinking? So Andre, why are these important? Why is it important that we shouldn't suspend or drop out or blah, blah, blah? Because there are all these variables to it. I had this one student, I won't say her name. I had this one student. This one student was trouble. Straight up. Every day I would wake her, I would greet her coming inside of the classroom, and I would get a gauge of who she was. Because that's what we do. We stand at our door. They're on their way in. Well, hi, good morning. How are you? And you would read the face to discover what this person is, who this person is. Is she having a good day? Did she wake up on the wrong side of the bed? What's going on? And she would come in with an attitude. And I knew right then she had a rough night. Other teachers knew, oh, she's mean. She's always mean. She's always got an attitude. And they would do it with their hand like that. I said, well, do you know her problem? No, what's her problem? Well, it's easy. Her mom's on drugs. She is one of 5. It's her job to take care of the other 4. So she's tired. She's sleepy. So don't come and start tripping about homework or her not finishing the project. Her project is taking care of her baby brothers and sisters. Shifting our thinking. Why is this important? Because it is our job. It is us as unicorns to help shift the thinking beyond this conference. I was talking to Kevin yesterday, and he said the best thing about this conference is the more and more you get to talk to people, you see that you are actually a family, and you get recharged from it. Because oftentimes we are the ones in our school holding it down. We are those unicorns. But then you come here and you see there are other people who are just like me, who are willing to give that extra mile, who are willing to do more and more and more and more. And then that helps everybody all together. That helps our nation. That helps our school districts. That helps our schools, our communities, our neighborhoods. It's the way that we do our work. So here's the cool part. I do like to talk, but I would love for you all to turn and talk for just a moment at the person right next to you at your table. What could be some solutions to stopping that suspensions over chewing bubble gum? What could be some solutions to stopping your students from being arrested for throwing a fit? I'm going to give you a minute to turn and talk to your people. Go for it. What are some solutions? Mic check. Good morning. How are you doing?
He says, hey, as long as it doesn't come out of the mouth and hit my carpet, we don't care. I'll be honest, we did.
Gotta snap a picture of this.
I think the big thing is like also getting their interest. So like when when we got
All right, come back with me in 5. Come back with me in 4. Grab your devices in 3. Come back with me in 2. So here's what I would like for you all to do. It's one thing for us to keep the information inside of this place. What I would like for you to do, go ahead and pull out your device, pull out your tablet, pull out your laptop, type your solution, and tag it Podstock 17. So if you are a Twitterer, get on Twitter and tweet out your solution. If you are a Facebooker, and you love the book, Facebook post your solution. If you are on Instagram, take a picture of your table. And all of you all smile. And then put your information there. I'm going to give you a chance so others can see the solutions to these problems. Give you a few moments to do that. Got about a minute left to tweet it out. It's only 140 characters. Don't have to write a dissertation. I mean, unless you want to write a dissertation. Oh, that's one of them. Yeah. Chew on this. Yes. All right, come back with me in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Boys and men reference right there. 1. Repeat after me. Expectations are everything. Absolutely they are. If this is your classroom, I need you to bust a move. Straight up. If this is your classroom, I need you to bust a move. Get out that mindset of this. Because this is what got Andre Daughty in trouble. This classroom. Bust a move. Switch up the table groupings. Why? Because today's students learn differently. How do we keep them from preschool to prison? Bust the move. You don't remember anything else? Bust the move. How are we teaching today's alpha students? We can't teach them the same way we grew up learning. It's not going to work. It's like trying to put an Atari with the PlayStation 4 game. Doesn't work. Today's students are gamers. Shoot, half of us in here are probably gamers. Let's go down memory lane, shall we? How many of us had an Atari? Shout out a game that you love. Go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I heard Frogger. Uh-huh. Yeah, Pac-Man, of course. Yeah, got it. Anybody remember Donkey Kong? Yeah. Yeah. How about Nintendo, Sega Genesis? Who still has theirs in their attic? Oh, it's out. Yes, it is. What was the game on Nintendo? Give it to me. Oh, Tecmo Bowl. Oh, yeah, Bo Jackson never gets tackled. Uh-huh. Sega Genesis. What was the main character from Sega Genesis? Sonic. We know this. They know that. Flip it some more. What about Nintendo 64? Say it again. Ooh. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, Mario Kart. And then it switched to 3. Who still has a PlayStation 3? And you just gave it to your kids because those things cost way too much money for you just to give up. And now there are PlayStation 4. They just released Nintendo Switch. Today's students are gamers. They grew up with this. They didn't have to save money and earn money to get it. We freely gave it to them. And then there's phones with tons and tons of apps. And now there's virtual. Today's students are gamers. So if you are not keeping their interest, if you are not engaging them, and if your classrooms look just like that, I need you to bust a move. Straight up, bust a move. Because these are your students' goals. Every system in a man cave that is already hooked to the TV. I'm jealous of this person. That's goals. Here's why. 92% of today's students, they have a gaming console. It's probably even more than that. Because now Nintendo's coming back around. And all those games that we grew up playing, they're coming back around. Now you can go to Walmart and you can do a simple yellow, white, red plug-in, and you get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classic Nintendo games, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classic Atari games. Now the Atari cartridges that you have, they pay big money for them. So your Pac-Man is still in your attic. You could get paid. Today's students are gamers. These are things they love to do. They love to customize it. So if inside of your room you are never customizing your lessons to meet your students, I need you to bust a move. Bust a move. Because now you have games to do it. And you have more games to do it. And you have more games. And if you never played Minecraft just to connect with your students, I need you to bust a move. Because this is what your students do all the time. They watch YouTube to watch somebody else play a game. What? Oh yeah, I love gameplay. What? Customizing. Mario Brothers jumped on it, where you can actually build your own world now. Customize. If you've never played Roblox, Roblox is a little cooler than Minecraft now. And they actually have awards for it. Best award for setting creation. Customize. They figured this thing out. You can take a selfie, upload your face inside of NBA 2K, inside of Madden, and now your face is the player instead of making a customized person. This is what today's students know. We got to bust the move. If we're still in those classrooms in straight lines, we got to switch it up. Here's the second thing they do. They don't hesitate to act. Today's students act first, think second. We got to forgive them. There's this one student was always in juvie, student was always in trouble, whatnot. One day she's rolling with her family. She's driving. She just got her driver's license, 16 years old. She's driving with her aunt and her two friends in the back. They're driving. They see a police getting beat up. Police pull the person over. The other person got the upper hand on the police. And so this lady driving, 16 years old, she slows the car down, jumps out the car to help the policeman, even though she's been in trouble. Car's still running. So aunt's like, what in the world? And aunt's trying to do it. And she runs and she jumps on top of that person beating up the police person. Why? Because she recognized that policeman. It's the same one. They think first, they react secondly. We got to forgive them. They're good kids. They may have some issues, but they're still great kids. They may beat on the desk all the time. They're still great kids. They may whistle without moving their mouth. They may get on your everlasting last nerve. They're still great kids. They don't hesitate to act. Second, another thing, they love to socialize electronically. Get over it. They're going to talk on the text a little bit more than they'll talk to you in real life. It's okay. So use that to your advantage. Hey, guys, pull out your devices today. Tweet out, blah, 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 blah. Use it to your advantage. Hey guys, give me some solutions to how we can fix this prison to preschool pipeline. Tweet it out. Use it to your advantage. Don't just have them write it on paper and pencil. Don't just have them put it in a Google Doc now. Use it to your advantage. They're tired of your bored traditional classes. Tired. So if you have a bored traditional class, I'm sorry. I really am. But I need you to bust a move. I need you to bust a move.
1930,
If
the
this is your classroom.
Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? The tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which, anyone raised or lowered?
If this
Raised
is your
tariffs
classroom,
in an effort to collect
and
more
this is
revenue
what
for
you
the federal
aspire
government.
every
Did
day
it work? Anyone? Anyone know
do.
the effects?
to be,
It did not work, and the United
I need you
States
to change
sank
your
deeper
mind.
into the Great Depression.
I need you to change your mindset. It was inside this one classroom, exact same thing was happening, because she just needed it quiet, because quiet is learning. And if they're quiet, that means they're paying attention and they're tracking. And it was farther from the truth. They were out in La La Land having their own adventures. So then they said, hey, Andre, can you help me out? Sure, I don't mind. Went to the classroom with them. We did a few PBL projects, problem-based, project-based learning ideas. And I said, I want you to create an intro to your world. Go. They all had iPads, one-to-one setting. And here's what one person came up with.
Turn down for what?
Third grade. Third grade. Third grade. Third grade. Third grade. In 1 hour, she created all of these intros. I said, whoa. And I said, why? What's Baconator? She says, because I love bacon. Really? Okay. All right. Third grade, I need you to bust the move. If your third grade students are doing this, they are capable of it. Bust the move. If this is your classroom, I need you to bust the move. They are non-traditional, so you got to step out of your comfort zone. If you always have them in your seats and your chairs, get them up, get them moving. Change the place. Change where they are. You got to think differently, because they are thinking differently. You got to think differently, because they are thinking differently. You got to be able to laugh with them, because they laugh all the time. You got to think differently. You've got to think differently. Because this is what they do. They come in wanting a laugh. They expect you to entertain them. They expect you to teach them, to engage them. They want to stay woke. For those of us in here who have never heard of being woke or to stay woke, here's the definition of wokeness. Because today's student sees the injustices of the world, and they're no longer quiet. They see Philandro Castile, and they see there's something wrong here. And they live in that area. In Oklahoma, same thing happened. Moore, Oklahoma, the same Moore, Oklahoma where all the tornadoes always are. And there was a person choked out. And he was breaking up his wife and his daughter from fighting. And the police department thought that he was the aggressor, choked him out, passed away. It was on video. And now students are coming to our classroom asking those questions. Why? Your students are woke. If you are not woke, I need you to bust a move. Here's an example. This young man right here, Jalen, They said, hey, we need you to do a science project. We need you to do this. Jalen's like, nah, I see something different here happening. In my neck of the woods, there's some injustices happening. So Jalen did his project on this. It went viral. Today's students are non-traditional. Customize it to fit your students' needs. If this is what they like, you need to jump on board with them. Repeat after me, expectations are everything.
Expectations are everything.
We're going to talk about reading just real briefly. Here's what I discovered teaching. I discovered that all of my boys, they were not there yet as far as reading. My girls were. My girls could read like this. They could read novels. They were kicking butt, taking names. They were ready to dig inside of Charlotte's Web. They were ready to, and they're third graders, fourth graders. My boys struggled. When I taught middle school, I saw that my boys didn't want to read aloud. They didn't want to discuss the novel. So I need to figure out why were my boys struggling reading, but my girls were not. Start doing some reading. Come to find out, oh, my boys don't get it together until towards the end of the 7th grade year. But as a 7th grade English teacher, I wasn't actually still teaching those reading skills. So next thing I know, some of my boys are on IEPs, and they shouldn't have been. They're in special ed, now they're labeled. And I'm not sure in your neck of the woods, but in Oklahoma, if you get somebody on special ed and they're on the IEP, they never come off. Very difficult to come off. So here's some things I would love for you to consider. Still teach reading. Yes, you math teacher. Still teach reading. Yes, you computer literacy teacher. Still teach reading. Yes, you PE teacher. Still teach reading. Yes, you high school person. Still teach reading. Teach what great readers do. Because some of your students are still trying to figure it out. Bust the move. Here are 2 more books that you can talk about that. First one, Why Boys Fail. And we're talking about all boys, not just one specific type of boy. We got to bust the move. We got to think differently. They're acting out because they don't want to read, because they know if they read, they may get clowned. So if I act out, I can get out of class, I can go to the hall, I can go to timeout, and now I don't have to read. Because I would rather get kicked out for something where it makes it look like I'm a boss versus you actually seeing my struggles and my weaknesses. The second one, Change My Mindset Altogether. It is how to, the conspiracy to get boys from a better place by Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu. Love that book because it changed me in that modality. Because I was that 7th grade teacher trying to really not teach reading. It was time to get into the literacy part. Metaphors! Woo! But my kids still struggling reading with their finger. Teach reading. Keep teaching reading. You teach towards their greatness. You teach towards their strengths. You build up their weaknesses. How do you do that? Gamification. How do you do that? Game-based learning. All the stuff in pre-con that I saw yesterday on Twitter, that's great. Still teach reading. Make it space. Build it up for them. Teach to their strengths. They love making stuff, go with it. Build their weaknesses too. Build their weaknesses too. STEM, STEAM, STREAM, and all the other different types of M's and M's. Engage your students. Whatever your student likes, start there. Here's a quote. If you observe students, they will teach you how to teach them. So my crew, they love wrestling. WWE, WWF style. So as a teacher, guess what I had to do? Watch wrestling. I got to find out who Rey Mysterio is because I don't know who he is. I remember The Undertaker when I was a little kid, and he's still like 90 years old, and he's still wrestling. So I got him. But who is John Cena? Oh, John Cena is the new Hulk Hogan. Okay, I got it. All right. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. He's not? Oh, okay, my bad. Hashtag oops. Okay. Next thing I know, my students like, hey, Mr. Daughty, yeah. Have you seen Designated Survivor? No. But that's your interest. So guess what I'm doing now? Designated Survivor. You teach towards their strengths. You make those connections. You engage your students. If your kids like hip hop, you better learn some hip hop. You better figure out that Jay-Z is the greatest thing ever and he just came out with a new album, even if you don't like it. You got to learn something, the Apology album, so he knows it right there. Engage your students. If your students like music, engage them with music. My kids couldn't do timetables, but they knew 50 Cent. So we're going to start rapping our multiplication facts. And we put it to the beat of 50 Cent. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, they're like, and they're getting down, but they knew their multiplication facts. Engage your students. If they like dance, use dance. If it's football, use football. Use the stats from free throws. Whatever they like, engage your students, grow from there. I need you to bust the move. Okay, here we go. You're going to look at the chart, say the color, not the word. You're going to say the color, not the word. Giving you 15 seconds, and say it out loud. Say it out loud for me. Ready? Go. How'd you do? Anybody get them all right? Let's take a look at this. This is right brain versus left brain. Right brain tries to say the color. Left brain tries to read the color. In other words, it looks something like this. Guess which classroom is the norm in education? Is it the left brain or the right brain? If you said left, you are 100% correct. And this is why we need to bust the move. Because on the left, even though everybody's quiet, and on the left, even though everybody's good, you got people missing out on the right. You got that student who loves art, needs not being met. You got your film people, needs not being met. Baconator would never be Baconator in a third grade classroom without having that opportunity. Bust the move. Here's an example. Started here.
Jesus, make it warm!
Today's students are smarter. Instead of going old school way, guess what they do? Bust the move. Your students are smart. Bust a move. Give you another one. Bust the move. Your students are so much smarter than what we give them credit for. We want them to shovel, but then we give them constrictions to shovel. Bust the move. One student saw this on YouTube, said, I think I can make that. Talk to their parents. Parents, this is what I need. This is what I want. Next thing you know, oh, wrong button. He made it. Now, it's not as powerful as that first one, but he made it. Bust the move. Engage your students. Provide them structures. Let them grow. They are going to fail. They may fall. Help them up. Help them fail forward. Bust a move. Here's some ways that I did inside of my classroom. First way was movie titles. Today's students know movies. So then you use a movie title and you go from there. Caption this, use that. Use everything you can. Here's an example. Only using the movie titles. How's your first week of school? Only using movie titles. How was last week's test? Tweet it out. Go. Something like that. Another thing, bust a move. Use everything. The internet is yours. Use pictures. They're powerful. Start a discussion this way. Had a young lady. She was very quiet. She never talked. She saw a picture and she became and just started crying. And we knew it was powerful. Why are you crying? Gave her the courage. She wrote it out. And that picture resonated with her because that picture was her life. Use everything. Don't run from it. Your students are woke. Use everything. Don't run from it. Use everything. Use everything. Use everything. Bell ringers. Use it. Customize this experience for your students. They will grow. They can grow. Movies, books, pictures, clips. If you've never been to YouTube, go to YouTube, and then inside of YouTube, there's something called movie clips, where they just have specific movie clips from different movies that you can use. I can no longer watch a regular movie because now I'm saying, ooh, how can I use that inside of class? Before coming this way, we watched Moana, and I said, ooh, that last scene in Moana, that's a teachable moment. If you haven't seen Moana, here's your homework, bust the move. Okay, here's another example. Started with the laugh. And so we challenged the student. Student, why is this lion laughing? Why is he laughing? Then I said, okay, at the end of it, and he goes to like this deep laugh. Then afterwards I said, okay, now using with your iPads, using your Google Chromebooks, you create the exact same video with the laugh. So they found a baby. And they use the baby to do the same laugh. Use anything you can to engage your students. They can do it if you challenge them. Because expectations are everything. There's another one as well. That's the funniest one. That's a laugh. Expectations are everything. Expectations are everything. Engage your students. Find their strength. Expectations are everything. Use their strength. Teach your students. And unicorns all over the world are doing this. They are finding a 12-year-old who loved to draw, and now she's a designer. They're finding a 16-year-old who loved to draw, and she actually got her stuff on the runway. And I'm sure you guys seen Shark Tank, but Mose Bowes, he just struck a deal with the NBA. And now his bow ties get to go to the NBA. Use what they have. Use their strength while building their weaknesses. If you are stuck in that old school classroom, you're in trouble. Your students want to create. Your students want to create. Your students want to create. All right, we won't do hip-hop vocabulary. I'll skip through that one. We'll maybe do that next time. Here's my last part. Remember that the technology will get played out. So never, ever just focus on the technology. At one time, Atari was amazing. Now it's not. And in that same modality, some of these things were amazing. They're no longer art. Okay? Gadgets won't drive your curriculum. You will. You making those connections. So let's wrap this thing up. What are some ways that we can stop the cycle from preschool to prison? Stay woke. Engage your students. Think beyond just the traditional classroom, because your students are. And here's the last thing. Dr. Jaime Gignac said this, that you are the decisive element in your classroom. You, us, unicorns. It is our approach that makes a difference. We are the tools. We can humiliate or humor. We can hurt or to heal. In other words, what he was saying is that every one of your students, there is a hidden tiger on the inside. And if you look at the screen here, there is a hidden tiger here. Not the black and yellow, black and orange Bengal tiger that you see. There is another hidden tiger in this picture. And your students come to you every day. They are going to come to you every day, and they have a hidden piece inside of them waiting to birth. But you won't be able to see it unless you look deep. You won't be able to recognize it unless you look deeper than what it actually is. My one student whose mom was on drugs and she was taking care of people, she found that hidden tiger. I saw it. I helped cultivate it. Other teachers saw it. We helped cultivate it. She's now in law school. Hidden tiger. Has anyone seen the hidden tiger? See a few heads? Keep looking. There is a hidden tiger in this picture. The harder you look, the more it will be revealed. And then once when you see it, you'll be like, whoa! And that's just with our students. Our students have gifts in them. It is up to us to help pull them out. And then once when they pull it out, we'll be like, it was there all along. And the same kid who was whistling and the same kid who was beat and making noise became a teacher and inspired other teachers. That's the hidden tiger. Hands up if you have not seen it yet. Got a few who have not seen it. Can you guys help them see it real quick where the hidden tiger is? All right, so if you would like to, you are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter, because this guy right here is pretty funny at times and good stuff. Here's the last part. How did you do with Oklahoma City logos? What I would like for you to do, I would like for you to tweet it out, Podstock 17, put the number on there, tag me in it. Whoever got the number correct, I have money for you. Now, we teachers, so don't expect like $500. Teachers don't make any money. But I thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. Find the hidden tiger in your students. Thank you all very much.